Hello and welcome to Creating with Purpose. My name is Aidan Brookstone and I'll be your host. Creating with Purpose is a series of thought-provoking ideas that are each mindfully crafted to help you, the creator, bring more meaning, intention, and purpose to your daily practice of creativity. My personal philosophy is that we are all creative beings. From the way we style our hair to the way we conduct our own personal demeanors, everything we do is an act of creation that is unique to our being. So whether you consider yourself an artist, a plain old human, or anything in between, it doesn't really matter. The information I'll be presenting in each of these episodes is practical enough that, if put to proper use, will help you open the doors to a life that is much more fulfilling, exciting, and simply put, has you creating with purpose. Each episode will cover a topic, and I'll finish with something for you to reflect on based on our speaking point. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, welcome to episode 3 of Creating with Purpose, and in this episode we're going to be diving a bit deeper into how purpose is ultimately a service to others. It is not a service to the self, although there is ways in which being purposeful towards the self can provide more meaning and intention towards our own lives, and that's great, but ultimately purpose is something that we truly derive from the service that we give to others. So let's explore how we can turn this into something tangible that just makes sense. I feel like the best way we can do this is to explore two different circumstances. One that is more extrinsic, a purpose that is driven by external motivation, and one that is more intrinsic, a purpose that is driven by something that's more internal, a desire to serve, a desire to help others, versus the extrinsic, which is more about how can I just go get more money, more boats, more fame, more women, etc., or men if you're the opposite gender or whatever. It's 2024. I guess we can do whatever we want nowadays. Who cares? The point being, are you driven by something outside of you or by a purpose and intention to really grow inside of you? Let's explore it. Let's discuss. Here we go. So let's imagine that your purpose is to go out into the world to get money, to get fame, to really just exploit yourself for material goods and material riches. So what happens? Eventually you get more fame, you get more exposure, you're out there, and really, time and time again, I don't even know if I have to tell the rest of the story, because we know at this point that being driven by extrinsic motivation is not going to make you happy. You get the jobs, you get the cars, you get the etc. But what? When is enough enough? When do you ever reach a point where what you have is good enough for you? When you are driven by an extrinsic purpose for growth and for material motivation. It doesn't ever really compute, and that just seems to be what leaves people feeling really sad, unhappy, and unfulfilled. Versus, let's say you are driven by an intrinsic motivation and a desire to serve and help others. Wow. Already it sounds beautiful, right? So if we're on this path of turning pain into purpose, and we're able to find a way where we can leave people smiling at the end of the day, where we can really make people feel happy for the work that we're doing, where our purpose is driven towards helping others. Ultimately, everything that we do in business and life is about how can we serve others. We're always in some ways serving ourselves. When we're helping others, we're also helping ourselves because it gives us a smile on our face. Ultimately, we're probably making some money as well. Providing a service to others is the way to true happiness and fulfillment. And we want to provide a service to others that is really purposeful, intentional, and meaningful. When we can provide a service to the world and to others that is very purposeful, intentional, and meaningful, and people can extract a lot of value from what you're giving, then that's something that's worth a lot more than money. It's worth a lot of money as well, but it's worth a lot more than money. So being able to connect with a very meaningful sense of purpose that is driven towards serving others and helping the world. If you want to be in the classrooms and help people discover who they truly are by teaching the arts, that's something that I love doing. If you are driven towards finding out how to support the people who are struggling in the world and how you can really help lift others up in the same way that you've been lifted in the past. If you are able to find a purpose that ultimately is about serving others and helping others, then you will always feel like you are providing for yourself too. If the universe is one big hologram and illusion, which I do believe it is, and that we are all just one big being interconnected through one big conscious mind, then every act of service that you provide for another person is also an act of service that you are providing for yourself. Making another person feel good will also make you feel good in return. And if you don't, then bah humbug. I don't know what's going on with you, Mr. Scrooge. Just we need to check your heart out and do some work, because creating something from a loving place and finding a way to help others is a super satisfying and fulfilling way to live. Ultimately, the people who are able to make the most of their lives are the people who have been able to provide the deepest sense of service from their sense of being. Those are the people who are memorialized in the world. Those are the people that we truly look up to. It's not about the fame. It's not about being memorialized. But ultimately, the people that we aspire towards and the people that we look up to tend to be the ones who were able to give the greatest sense of service to humanity. So this episode's reflection is going to be about taking a little deep dive into where is your purpose driven and motivated towards. Is your purpose motivated towards things like money and fame and being seen and getting attention and these things that don't necessarily last? Or is your purpose and motivation being driven towards something that is truly meaningful, that really gives you a sense of, yes, if I were to be doing this, then I would go to bed so happy at night because the value that I'm providing to others and to the world just makes me feel like I was able to take everything I've gone through and just turn it into something meaningful that other people can get value from and feel better about as well. And I can just go to bed feeling so happy about it. So I hope you found this episode helpful, and I hope that you find value in the idea that purpose is something that we do as a service to others, or we get our purpose in the value of service that we provide to others. There's a decent amount to unpack there for an individual, but I hope that it gives you enough to think about, that you can really start to connect the dots as to where you came from and where you desire to go, and how you can take everything you've been through and turn it into a purpose that is really, truly meaningful for yourself and for your life. So my name's Aiden. This is Studio Raphael. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Studio Raphael is an art house for creativity that serves to uplift humanity. My goal is really to help artists connect with a sense of purpose, intention, and meaning in their creativity, to ultimately find a way to uplift humanity and just help people through honest, conscious creativity. There's so much power that we have in our creative essence as creative beings. And my hope is that by finding that essence within myself, I can help others find it in themselves too. So if you find value in this, I would love to hear from you, to collaborate with you, to bring you onto Studio Raphael in my flagship 12-week program. The goal is to work with artists for 12 weeks, come up with something together, and then get to share it through the Studio Raphael platform as, a space that people can be like, whoa, look at all this really cool art. I believe it's possible. I'm working on making it happen. I hope that you find something valuable in that too. And otherwise, next episode, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the act of commitment when it comes to purpose and why deepening our commitment is extremely important in order to truly get into our purpose. But we'll get into that in the next one. So thanks again for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you around the studio sometime. Take care.